Welcome back to another video on my channel. It's that time of week again. We're back with Champions League predictions, and this time it's Champions League predictions for match week number 5. We've got games on Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got games on Tuesday and Wednesday involving teams like Newcastle, involving the English teams Newcastle, Man United, City, Manchester City, and Arsenal. Also playing is obviously like Barcelona, AC Milan, Dortmund, PSG, Real Madrid, Napoli. So yeah, we're gonna go through I'm gonna give you my game week 5 Champions League group stage predictions, and we're gonna start with the predictions for Tuesday's games. The first game on the video is Lazio at home to Celtic. Now Lazio at home to Celtic are coming off Lazio at home to Celtic. Lazio, the home team, got a win against Feyenoord in match week 4. While Celtic lost 6-0 to Atletico Madrid in matchday 4. So the Lazio Celtic should be an interesting game because it's second versus fourth. And Celtic, if they lose, Celtic are basically out. Celtic basically have no chance of making the knockout rounds of the Champions League. So it's pretty much a pointless game. I don't see Celtic getting anything. I'm going to say Lazio Celtic ends 2-0 Lazio. But yeah, 2-0 Lazio. Now we're on to so that was Group E, Celtic Lazio. We now have first versus third as Feyenoord host Atletico Madrid. Feyenoord, like I said, lost to Lazio, and Atletico Madrid, like I said, beat Celtic 6-0. Lazio are top of the group, while Feyenoord are second, while Feyenoord are third. It's a big game. Because if Lazio beat Celtic and then Atletico Madrid beat Feyenoord, then mathematically Feyenoord cannot qualify for the knockouts. So it really matters. This game really has a big impact on which two teams go through in Group E. As for my prediction, I'm going to say for Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, a 2-1 away win for Atletico Madrid. Next up, we're on to Group F, the Group of Death, which is proving to be the group, it's proving to be a Group of Death, because it's probably the closest group going into match week 5. Any of the 4 teams, Newcastle, AC Milan, Dortmund, and PSG, can all go through, and we're going to start with the game between AC Milan and Dortmund, which is hosted by AC Milan. So AC Milan versus Dortmund, top of the table. Dortmund versus third placed AC Milan. AC Milan got a good win in matchday 4 against PSG, while Dortmund made it 2 wins from 2 against Newcastle. And yes, it's going to be an entertaining game. Both of these teams drew 0-0. The last time these two teams met in the Champions League group stage for this season, it was a 0-0 draw. I don't see that happening this time around. I do see AC Milan as the home team edging it 2-1. Next up is the big game. It's PSG hosting Newcastle. It's second against fourth. It's second against fourth. This is a really hard game. If Newcastle lose to PSG and then Dortmund beat AC Milan, then unfortunately Newcastle will no longer be able to qualify for the knockout rounds. So Newcastle need to go to France tomorrow night and need to put out all the stops to get, and will need to try and beat PSG again like they did at St James's Park to stand any chance of still possibly making the knockouts. But unfortunately, I think PSG are going to be too strong for Newcastle, and Newcastle will score, but they'll concede 3. PSG will win 3. Now we're on to Group G, and we have the first team, and the first game in Group G is already qualified and the already qualified Man City, who obviously, as you know, is my club. So Man City hosts Leipzig. Man City, like I said, already through. Leipzig already through. This game is about whoever wins this game. If City win this game against Leipzig at home to Leipzig, then City confirm top of the group. If Leipzig beat City, then it comes down. If Leipzig beat City, then it comes down to the final match day, where City go away to Red Star and Leipzig face Young Boys. So this is a very big game between City and Leipzig. They're both already through, but this will pretty much decide who goes top, who wins the group. And I have to back my boys in blue. We were unlucky. We should have beaten Liverpool. We scored a great goal. Haaland's 50th Premier League goal, the quickest player to 50 Premier League goals. But then halfway through the second half, we went 2-0 up through Ruben Dias. But the goal was disallowed for offside, and then Liverpool ended up equalising, which kept us a point above Liverpool. And then Arsenal went top of the table with a lucky 1-0 win over Brentford. But enough about Arsenal and enough about Liverpool. This is about City. City hosting Leipzig. This is the second home game in a row, and this game is happening. This is City's second home game in a row. Their third home game in a row is on the weekend, and it's against Tottenham. So, because there's the big game on Sunday against Tottenham, you could possibly see City rotating for this game. But then again, they'll want to try and clinch tops. They'll want to try and clinch top spot with one game to go. So I'm going to back City to win. I'm going to back them to win big, because the last time Leipzig went away to Manchester, City went away in Manchester to play Manchester City, it ended 7-0 with Haaland scoring 5, which were 5 very important goals, as they helped him on his way to becoming Champions League top goal scorer for last season. So yeah, big result. The last time these two teams played at the Etihad, 7-0, which included not just the 5 goals from Haaland, but goals from Kevin De Bruyne and also Gundogan. So yeah, this game, Man City Leipzig at the Etihad, is it going to be as big of a win for City as last season in the round of 16? Probably not, but I still think it will be a big margin of victory. Man City are going to win 5-1. Next up, Young Boys Red Star. I think I'm going to go for this one quickly and sit on the fence with a 1-1 draw, which pretty much will confirm Red Star, which means if that game were to end a draw, then then it would go down to the final match day to determine who out of Young Boys and Red Star go through to the Europa League. Because obviously the team that finishes in third between Red Star and Young Boys will in fact go through to will in fact drop down to the Europa League, where they'll be able to get a spot in the proper round of 16 of the Europa League by winning in the qualifying round against one of the third place teams in the Europa League groups. But enough about that. So this game does mean a lot. Whoever wins out of Red Star and Young Boys, pretty much. If whoever wins out of Young Boys and Red Star pretty much gets Europa League football, because I don't see either Red Star or Young Boys getting results on the final match day against Leipzig and Man City respectively. As Leipzig, like I said, host. Leipzig play Young Boys, and obviously, like I said, City play Red Star. But Red Star, Young Boys, Red Star, 1-1. I'm gonna sit on the fence for that. I don't know who to back for that one. Next up, Shakhtar versus Royal Antwerp. This again, this is for me the first easiest prediction. I'm going to predict that Shakhtar Donetsk win 3-1. And the final game on Tuesday, the final game on Tuesday and the final game in Group H is, for Matchday 5, is Barcelona-Porto. So Barcelona-Porto is the final game on Tuesday before we move on to Wednesday's games. For this, it's first versus second, Barcelona in first, just above Porto in second, based because of goal difference. It's going to be an interesting game. It's not at the Camp Nou. It's at a stadium that apparently Barcelona don't like playing in. They lost to Real Madrid in it. So yeah, it's not at the Camp Nou. So maybe that could help out Porto. But I think Aston Villa, I think Barcelona have enough in the tank to beat Porto away from home. And so I'm going to say Porto lose marginally 1-0. It was 1-0 in the reverse fixture. I think it will be 1-0. It was 1-0 to Barcelona in the reverse fixture. I think it will be the same exact scoreline in this fixture. Now we're on to Wednesday's games. First game, Group A. So we've got Group A. The first game in Group A is Galatasaray in third, hosting Manchester United, who are bottom of the table. Man United, good win on the weekend against Everton. An amazing overhead kick goal from Garnacho, very reminiscent of Wayne Rooney against Manchester City. But yeah, good result on the weekend for Man United. But the atmosphere at Goodison Park is pretty good. It's pretty good atmosphere at Goodison Park. But they're about to face Galatasaray away, and Galatasaray away is probably one of the most intense places to go in the Champions League. The Galatasaray fans, absolutely love football and absolutely love their team. Galatasaray fans love their team and love football. It's going to be an intense atmosphere for Manchester United. I do believe that intense atmosphere will not only cause Man United to lose again, but it will also cause Man United to miss out on knockouts. If Galatasaray beat Man United will no longer be able to qualify for the knockouts. And if they don't qualify for the knockouts, and if Man United don't qualify for the knockouts of the Champions League, but also don't qualify for Europa League, Ten Hag's got to go. Ten Hag should be sacked by Man United if Man United fail to either get Champions League knockouts or Europa League. If United don't get either Champions League knockouts or Europa League, Ten Hag has to go. And I think they're going to miss out on both, because I think Galatasaray are going to beat Man United by a score of 2-0. Galatasaray will beat Man United at home 2-0, which will mean Man United can no longer qualify for the knockout stages. And if they don't qualify for the knockout stages or the Europa League by finishing third, Ten Hag will have to go. Ten Hag will be, for me, if United do not make either the Champions League knockouts or Europa League by finishing third, I think Ten Hag's finished at Man United. And Man United going to lose 2-0 to Galatasaray, and it's going to cause them to miss out on the knockouts, and that'll be one. And Ten Hag will be one step closer to the sack. Okay, but enough about that. We're now on to the other game in Group A, which sees Bayern Munich host the surprise winners against Man United, Copenhagen. I think Copenhagen are gonna do the sort of upset against Bayern that they did against Man United. And actually, I don't think they'll even score. I'm going to say Bayern Munich win 3-0. Kane will score again for Bayern Munich. Next up, we have Group B. Sevilla PSV. This is important. This is an important game. If Sevilla do not beat PSV, then they're out of the Champions League and pretty much out of the Europa League as well. It's a competition they love to win. Sevilla PSV. I'm not sure. Well, Sevilla are at home, but they're 15th in the Liga. Yeah. 3-1 defeat for Sevilla against PSV. I think PSV will pretty much deny Sevilla, both Champions League knockouts and Europa League. Sevilla 1, PSV Eindhoven 3. Next up is Arsenal and Lens. I think Arsenal at home are such a good team, so I'm going to say 2-0. Real Madrid Napoli is a really good game. Bellingham and Kane just seem to be following similar patterns. They're scoring. Kane and Bellingham just seem to follow similar patterns this season, scoring loads of goals, being some of the best being two of the best players in the world, and that bodes really well for England in the Euros. The draw of which is in 5 days' time. But enough about England. Harry Kane, Bellingham, just like Harry Kane, is on amazing form. He's just broken a La Liga record that was previously held by Ronaldo for the most goals from a Real Madrid player in the first 15 games, which is just crazy. But enough about that. Real Madrid, Napoli. I think Napoli will give Real Madrid a good go, and I think Real Madrid will win, but I do think they'll win narrowly 2-1. Braga, Union Berlin. This is a pointless game. Union Berlin no longer can qualify for the knockouts, and Braga are the home team, so 2-0. Benfica, Inter Milan. Again, Benfica have no chance of beating Inter Milan, so let's say Inter Milan will win 3-0. And finally, Real Sociedad against Red Bull Salzburg. I think Red Bull Salzburg will give Sociedad a good game, but Sociedad currently are the team in the Champions League with the best defensive record, and I think that will continue as they'll win 4-0. So let's go through my predictions one more time. Tuesday, Lazio Celtic 2-0 Lazio. I'm going to say Immobile scores. And I'm also going to say, what's his name? Pedro. Immobile and Pedro to score in a 2-0 win for Lazio against Celtic. Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, goal from the Feyenoord. I don't know who will score the Feyenoord goal. I don't really know much about the players. But for Atletico Madrid, the goal scorers will be Antoine Griezmann and Correa. AC Milan, Dortmund, 2-1 AC Milan. Goals for AC Milan from Christian Pulisic and Olivier Giroud. And then for Borussia Dortmund, it will be Karim Adeyemi. PSG, Newcastle, 3-1 PSG. A brace from Mbappe and also a goal for Ousmane Dembele. And then for Newcastle, it will be Sven Botman. Group G, Manchester City, Leipzig, 5-1. Haaland hat-trick. And then Julian Alvarez and Phil Foden will all score. And then for Leipzig, I'll say Xavi Simons. Young Boys, Red Star, 1-1. I'm not going to give you my scorers for that game because I don't know anything about either team. Either Young Boys or... I don't know any players from Young Boys or Salzburg or Red Star Belgrade. Group H, Shakhtar Royal Antwerp, 3-1. No scorers. I'm not going to give any scores for that because, again, I don't know any players from either team. Barcelona Porto, 1-0 Barca. The goal from João Felix. And then Wednesday, Group A, Galatasaray 2, Man United 0. Icardi with both goals. Bayern Munich 3, Copenhagen 0. Harry Kane with a brace and Kingsley Cope and Leroy Sané. Group B, Sevilla PSV Eindhoven 3-1 Sevilla, 3-1 PSV. Again, 2 for De Jong. Actually, no, 3 for De Jong, a hat-trick for De Jong. And let's go El Naziri for Sevilla. Arsenal Lens, 2-0 Arsenal. Saka with a goal and Gary Jesus also as well. Real Madrid Napoli, 2-1 Group C. Real Madrid Napoli, 2-1 Real Madrid. Bellingham to get a goal and an assist. The assist being for Luka Modric. And Napoli, I'm going to say Di Lorenzo from the penalty spot. Sporting Braga, Union Berlin, 2-0 to Sporting Braga. No scores. I'm not going to give any scorers for that because I don't know any players from either team. I don't know the players from Sporting Braga, so I can't give you any predictions on who will score. Benfica Inter Milan, 3-0 Inter Milan. Brace for Lautaro Martinez, and I also think Barella will score. And then Real Sociedad 4, Salzburg 0. Oyarzabal will score 2, and Oyarzabal will score 2. Oyarzabal will score 2. Who's else is in Real Sociedad? Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad 4. Real Sociedad Red Bull Salzburg. RB Salzburg 4-0 Sociedad with goals from with a brace from Oyarzabal and also a brace from Oyarzabal and a brace from Kubo in the 4-0 win. So let me go through those one more time. Let me go through the predictions for the third and final time with the goal scorers. Lazio Celtic 2-0. We're not going to mention the group anymore. We're just going to go through each of the games. Lazio Celtic 2-0 Immobile and Pedro. Atletico Madrid Feyenoord 2-1 Atletico Madrid. For Atletico Madrid, Griezmann and Correa. For Feyenoord, not sure. Like I said, I don't know any of the players from Feyenoord. AC Milan Dortmund 2-1 AC Milan. Giroud and Pulisic. Dortmund Adeyemi. PSG Newcastle 3-1 PSG. Mbappe brace. Ousmane Dembele and Sven Botman for Newcastle. Manchester City Leipzig group 5-1 Man City. Hat-trick Haaland and then goals from Alves and Foden, and then for Salzburg and then for Leipzig Xavi Simons. Young Boys Red Star 1-1. No score. Not going to give no score predictions on the scores. Shakhtar Antwerp 3-1 Shakhtar. No prediction on the scores. Barcelona Porto 1-0 Barca. The goal coming from João Felix. And then Galatasaray Man United 2-0 Galatasaray. Both Galatasaray goals from Icardi. Bayern Copenhagen 3-0 Bayern. Brace for Kane and Leroy Sané will also score. Group B Sevilla PSV Eindhoven 3-0 PSV. No predictions on who will score. Arsenal Lens 2-0 Arsenal. Goals from Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Jesus. Real Madrid Napoli 2-1 Real Madrid. Real Madrid will score through Bellingham and Luka Modric. Napoli will score through Di Lorenzo. Sporting Braga Union Berlin 2-0 Sporting Braga. No predictions on who will score. Group Benfica Inter Milan 3-0 Inter Milan. Goals from a brace from Martinez and a goal from Barella. And then Real Sociedad 4 Red Bull Salzburg. Real Sociedad RB Salzburg 4-0 Real Sociedad. Braces for both Oyarzabal and braces for both Mikel Oyarzabal and Takefusa Kubo. That is it for my game week 5 Champions League group stage predictions. Tune in 2 weeks. Tune in a week next Monday. Not next Monday, but the Monday after that, for the final Champions League group stage prediction video. And then it will be the knockouts. But until that Champions League video and the video on Thursday, which will be my Premier League predictions for the weekend, which includes, like I said near the start, Man City, Tottenham. So tune in on Thursday for Premier League predictions for this week, for the weekend games, including Man City, Tottenham, and then tune in the Monday after the weekend's game, and then tune in the Monday after the Spurs, and then tune in the Monday after the Spurs game, the day after the Spurs game, which is a Monday, for my game week 6 Champions League group stage predictions, which will be my final Champions League group stage predictions video before we hit the knockouts. Subscribe to the channel, give a video, catch you all my latest videos. Until Thursday and the following Monday, I'm out. Peace. Bye.